What's the last thing you saw before clicking on this video? Another essay, a movie, corn, news, commentary? Something cute, morbid? Whatever it was, in the context of the internet, it's all the same. Content. All of it is content. There are countless of videos on the topic of internet bad, but I want to avoid making it that simple. And I'm not going to stand here and tell you to just put your phone down and touch some grass. You obviously know that, and obviously I'm part of the problem too, because I'm producing content. Now, this video is more about discussing the nature of content itself and why we even get that weird feeling that makes us say, it really is the damn phone.
With 6 of its students dead, the University of California, Santa Barbara.
I am sitting on $5 million in cash and competing for it. Open the gates! You cannot make this up! Amazing news!
Stop, you beautiful bastard!
See ya.
The binge-watching Skibbity rating in a solid 4 booms on Costco Boom scale. Listen to talk to while wondering if Kai's Nets Kental Tilt gives him more raised in Ohio than Mr. Bisquiat of was just spooning over his aura. If you understood even 2 of the references during my aneurysm, I'm sorry to inform you that you are most likely suffering from brain rot. While writing the script, it was announced that brain rot was officially chosen as Word of the Year by Oxford University. Brainrot captures concerns about the impact of consuming excessive, low-quality, nonsensical content and how it may lead to a person's mental deterioration. A mental health center in the US even published an article about the danger of brainrot online and how to avoid it. Fun times.
You have L-Riz and a level 0 Gaiat. You're just a big fat beta. I am Duke Dennis, son of Kai Cenat, Sigma of Ohio. Skibbity.
My lord.
Send a gooning machine to Ohio. If they goon, maybe they can edge. Then they can achieve a positive Canthal tilt and become Sigmas.
What the Sigma?
He's trolling.
You're a beta, Duke Dennis.
Skibbity!
I can drop ties in this bitch. Drop like flies in this bitch.
Oh, and don't get me wrong. I love the brainrot the algorithmic gods are feeding me. And of course, not everything you see on the internet is necessarily as moronic and nonsensical as the references I just made. You'd have to be severely chronically online to understand any of it. Yet, I'm pretty certain that the number of brainrot affected people is increasing.
Hey, I did pretty good. Hey, 30-39 on my second game of controller. I'm doing pretty good, no? Cheeto.
The reason we just can't get enough of it, regardless of what type of content it is because the platform's algorithms knows us perfectly well. Maybe even better than we know ourselves. Like, you might not know you're bisexual yet, but the algorithm already does. Algorithm. That word sounds so abstract and it's kind of hard to grasp. I'd like to imagine that it is actually slowly able to build a digital copy of you. Like literally a digital clone. It is omnipresent during your proudest achievements, darkest times, and let's be real, especially when you're horny. It scrapes all possible data about you to sell you more content tailored to you, creating a reality in which you are the main character. A reality that slowly starts to feel more real than the actual one. You're no longer just a performer on a digital stage, but also simultaneously the audience, constantly comparing your real identity with your digital one. So there's this ominous entity keeping you on its platforms. But if this stuff is supposedly tailored perfectly to me, why does so much content still leave me feeling empty and unsatisfied? Like absolutely no front to creators. To some, at least.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Because that also includes movies and shows on Netflix, Prime and other streaming platforms. There are movies and shows specifically designed for watching while also scrolling on your phone. Content is changing the way we create art. Videos, tweets, images, stories, songs, shorts or even news are just becoming white noise. White noise to avoid thinking about ourselves, to avoid being aware of where and who we are. We don't want to let our minds wander into unknown territories to truly find ourselves. Maybe I should start doing that. Or make content about that. Content is meant to keep you stationary. Art is meant to move you. But can you even create art in the content space? How do you make something genuinely meaningful in today's world without being labeled a creator rather than an artist? What I'm asking is, can truth and commerce coexist in a genuine way? How authentic can it be when a video that claims to seek truth or self-discovery is also trying to sell you something? Or when you're immediately distracted by the next piece of content waiting for you? Every piece of content is edited, full of curated footage, and at least partly planned. It's impossible to create something entirely raw, unfiltered, and genuine. That's just the nature of content creation, no matter how personal or authentic a piece of content seems. By the way, I think this is also why every apology video trying to come across as emotional feels so weird. It's so performative, yet tries not to present itself as such.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
It's weird. When we watch movies, we already know they're fictional, dramatized, and carefully planned. There's no illusion of authenticity or raw, sincere, private expression. Ironically, that's why some films can feel more genuine, raw, thought-provoking, and personal. On the other hand, maybe we need a camera in our faces to create a performance, to open up about ourselves and be less closeted, revealing our true selves in the process. And I think there's only one piece of art that captures this dynamic beautifully. Bo Burnham's Inside is the ultimate internet film that dissolves the boundary between content and cinematic art. The impact of the film wouldn't have worked in a theatrical release, nor on platforms like YouTube. It's all about the context in which the content is consumed. On the internet, everything is leveled and equalized regardless of its nature. War crime footage, OnlyFans promos, and political commentary are all presented on the same plane. Imagine watching Schindler's List on YouTube, only to have how I show speed accidentally the creeper, oh man, suggested next. Any kind of content loses its significance when everything is crushed into the same indistinguishable sludge. In my opinion, you can distinguish art or something valuable from content with a simple question. Are you intentionally focusing your attention on the piece? Or is the piece stealing your attention from you? For platforms, the only thing that matters isn't the quality of the content or the value it provides. It's all about one thing, baby. Engagement. Every single site on the internet is designed to keep you engaged, so that you'll stay on their sites for as long as possible. The longer you stay on their sites, the more money they make. It's in the corporate best interest to condense every single human experience into a flat service of likes, numbers, text, etc. to transform human-to-human connection into the digital space. Profiting off land, resources, labor, or products isn't enough anymore. In today's age, corporate bug-eyed salamanders are colonizing our souls for profit, privatizing personal human experience. Shifting reality to the digital space created a fairly new fear that we're all terrified of. I will sound very old when I say the internet wasn't always like this. In the 80s, the internet as we know it was actually publicly owned, called the NSFnet, free from late-stage capitalism until Clinton changed the game, turning it over to private companies in the 90s. Still, after that, the internet was basically only a couple of catalogs, travel blogs, and a couple of chat rooms big. But before we knew it, privatizing the internet opened the gates for unregulated growth and exploit. When the internet is a car, capitalism is the engine, engagement its fuel, one out of content. And now AI is supposed to be the new super resource, taking engagement to a whole new level, hoping to make creators, therefore labor, more irrelevant. Shifting reality, compressing every single human experience into consumable sizes, devaluing art, disassociation, and generally drowning you in entertainment is not only poisoning your mind, but can be an actual threat to the very fabric of our democracy. Since the beginning of TV, it has become natural to expect being entertained when learning any sort of information. The audiovisual age taught us to soak up stories that have been reduced to less than a minute, and the quick pace of it all prohibits any real act of thinking. If the requirement of worthy information means being entertaining, then being boring is anything but worthy to get your attention and focus, so it must be irrelevant. No one in their right mind would be able to consume brainrot content 24/7. So the art of feeding content to its viewers is to give them the illusion of something valuable, like information, community, or connection. And I believe even if you have the right intentions and generally want to communicate something valuable, you're still competing for someone's attention because, well, that's how the system works and you want to be heard. And being heard on the internet means being entertaining enough to steal your attention just enough so you don't get distracted by the next thing. This is by design because you need to be interested all of the time to distract you from thinking too much about yourself or the horrible reality you're living in.
Thinking is not a performing art, and I think what television requires is a performing art.
Internet bad is too easy, and content isn't a problem either. How else can small artists, journalists, educators, businesses, or everyone express themselves while being heard by potentially millions? It's the way the internet is powered by profit, power, spectacle. 1984 by George Orwell is not gonna happen. You don't have to censor the public anymore when information itself has become irrelevant.